and welcome back to Karan's Cuisine. Dinner isn't complete without a dessert, so for my last Thanksgiving recipe, I'll be making apple pie bread pudding, and for this you're gonna need 5 slices of brioche bread. If you're using normal white bread, you're gonna need to add a little bit of extra sugar, 2 Granny Smith apples, 4 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of milk, 3 eggs, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of apple pie spice, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Bread pudding is usually made with stale bread, but I have fresh brioche bread, so to get that stale effect, I'm gonna toast it in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 5 minutes, and my oven is preheating right now, so meanwhile I'll cut the bread into small pieces. Baking in the oven for 5 minutes. So in the meanwhile, I can prepare my custard with eggs, cinnamon, vanilla extract, milk, butter that I melted, a pinch of salt, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. If you're using normal white bread, use 4 tablespoons. Custard, and I also just pulled my bread out of the oven, and I'm waiting for it to cool for 5 minutes, so now I can work on my apples. Peeled my apples, now I'm going to cut them into small pieces. I've cut my apples and set them aside, so now I can mix the bread into the custard, then put it on the pan. All of the bread pieces are soaked and wet, so now I can just transfer it to my greased baking pan. I'm gonna make an even layer. I've spread it all out in an even layer, so now I'm gonna work on the apple filling that goes on the top. Add the rest of your brown sugar, and then the cornstarch and the apple pie spice. After mixing for about 30 seconds to a minute or so, it becomes like caramelized and sort of like a wet texture to it. So mix it a little bit more and then transfer it to the pan. Toss this 9-inch pan in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 35 to 40 minutes. It's been 35 minutes, so now I can take it out. It smells so good. it looks so puffy and it like perfectly fit. And if you can handle the heat, you should just eat it right now with like ice cream or caramel syrup, and it'll taste so delicious. But I can't handle that, so I'm gonna wait 5 minutes and then I can taste it. It cooled for 5 minutes and it lost a little bit of its puffiness, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna cut myself a piece. To taste it, I've put some ice cream on the pie, and now I can drizzle some caramel. I've never been so enthusiastic to taste something. It tastes like apple pie, but without the pie crust. And it's so good with the cinnamon and apple pie spice flavor. And make sure to try this Thanksgiving recipe. Check out my other recipes and like and subscribe.